Today we've got a tips and tricks video for you guys today. This is great for the new and returning players as well as anybody who is currently playing RuneScape 3 right now who may not know these beautiful little nitbits about the video game. Hope you guys learned something new today. Let's get right into it. Tip number 1 is aimed towards new players or returning players coming into the game, and that is going to be focusing on one combat style. There's 4 combat styles in the game currently with melee, range, magic, and necromancy, and all of them have unique quirks that make them very fun to use. However, if you're brand new to the game and you're finding combat to be quite overwhelming, I recommend using necromancy as a way to baby step your way into the intricate details that combat has. Unlike the other combat styles where you have to kill monsters all around Gielinor, necromancy has a built-in progression system with smithing and crafting and upgrading the current gear that you get from level 1 by providing you a great skill to get you into the mid and end game of RuneScape PVM, alongside giving a very basic rundown of how combat works in the game. This is a great way for any account to get started, as well as figuring out how to do combat encounters in the game. To get started with necromancy, head down to Draenor and open up your quest list. Look for the quest called Necromancy, set that as your active quest, and then go on your merry undead weaving way. Next, I have to teach you about the skybox. It is one of my favorite features added into the game, and it allows you to change the atmosphere and pretty much like the entire sky, and ultimately changes the lighting in the game as well. This will change the exterior, the surface world, as well as interior places. Like if you go into a dungeon, it'll change the lighting and ambience of an entire zone. To access the skybox menu, you have to go to your world map. In the bottom right corner, you will see the giant globe. Right-click it, select skyboxes, and then the menu will appear. If you have some of the skyboxes grayed out, that means you haven't reached the content to unlock this, or you haven't met the prerequisites to have it unlocked either. There's a few achievements in the game, like getting 100 kills at Gate of Olympus to unlock the Gate of Olympus Eclipse box, but most of these will be readily available to you, just like dawn, dusk, midday, throne, as well as nighttime. These are fantastic and a nice way to light up either dark spaces or just have a different feel for whatever zone you're in. It is a fantastic change, and I personally use it all of the time to change how my game overall looks and feels. This would be a really great tip to know, especially when Jagex begins to have a unified look across the game, updating all of the graphics, and it's going to be a fantastic little tip to use when you're just out there exploring and checking out all that RuneScape has to offer. While we're on the topic of the world, you can also world hop from that beautiful little map that we talked about with the skybox section. If you right click it, there is a hop world sec option as well, which you could use to just, hop worlds. I use this one instead of actually like hitting escape in settings, the hop worlds in that menu. So if you're ever just looking for a way to hop and change servers, if you need something with lower ping or to join a world with a specific activity, be sure to go ahead and check that out. You can also, if you have your buddy in a different world, you can right click their name, hit join, and it'll join their world specifically. That way you can always hang out with the boys while you're pouncing around the beautiful world of RuneScape. Next, let's talk about picking a low ping world. For those who don't know, your ping is pretty much your lag. It's going to determine how long it takes, I think, the game to tell like what you're doing to the server and then bounce back to you. It's essentially a bunch of tech nerd shit. But all you need to know when you are doing a high action per minute activity is you want to be on a world with low ping, and those are typically worlds that are in your server. If you're in the United States and you're on the West Coast in California or Washington State, you're going to want to pick a West Coast world. If you're in Europe, you want to pick a world that is near your country. If you're in Germany, if you're in the United Kingdom, or if you're inside the beautiful country of Lithuania, shout out Dovydas, you're going to be wanting to pick a world that is based out of Europe. That way you're going to have the lowest possible ping, and the way this ping can impact you in a lot of ways is if you are doing a high action or dangerous activity like boss fighting, and you do a very specific action at a specific time, think a defensive ability to save your life, being in a high ping world may cause you to die. Highly recommend picking a low ping world to make sure you have a smooth, flawless interaction with the video game. The way to find the world with the best ping is to go into the lobby menu, and then on the right side you'll see the word ping. Find the world with the lowest one, and then you're good to go. If you've ever found yourself having a hard time manually proccing all of your abilities, I'm going to recommend to use the Revolution combat system. Revolution is a combat mode that automatically uses the ability for the player. The way you can turn it on is in your combat settings interface or by right-clicking gear icon on the action bar. Revolution automatically triggers the first available compatible ability on the action bar and can access any number of the slots in the bar. Now, I like to use Revolution when I'm doing a combat skill or encounter that doesn't really require a bunch of button mashing for me to do something. It makes it very easy to do skills like Slayer, or when I'm grinding out a boss where I don't really need to be worrying about mechanics all that much. This is a great way if you're trying to go through quests, or you just have a few very mundane combat encounters throughout the game, and you don't really need to be manually pressing every single button. If you are going into full manual, that is typically for only high-end bosses. However, I am someone who has never used full manual, and I have been able to do every single boss encounter at the highest in rage without any problem, besides my own skill issue. It is very doable to do any piece of content with Revolution. I do recommend, though, as you get better with the skill, move that Revolution bar and make it a little bit smaller. Make it only proc your basic abilities, and then from there you can control your thresholds and your ultimates, and that way you can have more control over your rotations while you are doing combat. But Revolution is a great way for beginners and returning players to be able to get a feel for the combat system without getting overwhelmed by manually procking all of your abilities. Now we gotta talk quality of life about the things you're not gonna be killing: your bank and your inventory. This next tip is something that I use every single day, literally all the time, clearing out my bank, and that is dragging and dropping from inside the bank interface. It is a very easy way to declutter your bank of stuff you no longer use, and the way that you can do it is that just pick something you no longer use and just click it, drag it, drop it. You'll get a little prompt that asks you if you want to destroy it, and from there you can confirm that you want it gone. I use this all the time, and I also like that you have the confirmation prompt, because there are times when you might accidentally drag something that you do need and pull it outside the bank and try and destroy it. Something that has always bothered me in video games is when the inventory is always a mess. For RuneScape, it is very easy to simplify how your inventory will look, and for me, I like using a 4-tile interface, because that is what your bank previews your bank presets to, and also what your inventory looks like when you're inside of the bank. If you're ever wondering why your inventory might be a little wonky as compared to when you see it in your bank, compared to when you take it out, that is because RuneScape has a 4-tile setup. If you would like to lock your interface to any set number of tiles, go into your settings, go to Gameplay, Interfaces, Inventory, search for Dynamic Backpack Columns, and what this does is that if you'd like it to be locked to 4 tiles, set it to 4. This way, no matter how big your inventory box is, it will stay at 4 rows no matter what. You can have this set from 1 all the way to 28. I recommend doing it whatever you'd like all of your inventories to look like. For me, I like doing 4 because that's how it is previewed to you in the bank and your bank presets. This way you know where all your stuff is when you're doing combat or when you're doing quest or whatever activity you may be doing that may involve you clicking in and out of your inventory box all the time. You can drag and drop from your inventory as well. You can also shift to drop if you'd like. So just hold the shift button, click whatever you like to drop, and then you're good to go. This is fantastic for when you're trying to empty out an inventory, you're looting a bunch of stuff, and you don't want to clutter up your bank. You also get a confirmation window in case you drop valuable items. For me, I have a Blessed Flask, which is about 700 mil and holds all of my prayer for any boss fight. I have almost dropped this thing a million times, but thanks to the confirmation box, I haven't lost it yet. You can also lock your inventory so that you never drop anything or drag anything out on accident. This is fantastic for quest items, so if you're on a long journey, 2 hours into a quest, and you don't want to drop those stupid white berries, you're going to be good to go because you're not going to be able to drag and drop from there anyways. Just click the little lock button on the inside of your inventory, and then you're good to go. Won't have you lose any valuable items 8 hours into your little questing escapade that you only get every few months. Now, this is probably the biggest tip I have to offer, and I highly recommend, if you don't listen to anything in this video, please listen to at least this one bit. And let's have fun. Take it slow if you want to. Maybe 1 week into you go buck wild, you can become super hyper efficient, get like 18 million XP an hour or something crazy. But I mean, just have fun. There's a lot of people who just hate themselves when they log in and play any video game because they gotta be the best at something. They gotta be the most efficient at something. Like, honestly, it doesn't matter how everybody else is playing the game. If you're playing it the way you want to and you're having the time of your life, that's what matters. I know there's a ton of people that get sucked into dailyscape and dealing with a bunch of things that they just feel like they have to log in and do this checklist of items. Don't do that. Like, you don't need to do that. Like, genuinely. You can do, like, some of them, like, to make sure that you're progressing towards your goals, but you don't gotta do all of them. Just pick 1 or 2 and go from there. I have a completionist cape. That's literally a giant checklist of things to do, and the way I did it, brother, it was literally just going, like, achievement a day, maybe this one here, maybe this one there. Didn't touch comp progress for about 7 months. Came back right back to it. You know what? Revigorated, excited to get back into it, and then we just moved on, kept it pushing. There's no need to literally do every single checklist, dailyscape, wilderness flash event, divination cache. Don't gotta do them all, man. Do it whatever you need to just have fun. Maybe sometimes it is fun. I like doing wilderness flash events because they're enjoyable, and I like having a nice little break from the stuff that I'm doing. It's an actual diversion. You know what I mean? And I understand Iron Man are a whole different boat. They gotta do the checklist thing, but I tell you, bro, you sign up for Iron Man. That's your fault. You can de-iron and just become a main and not have to worry about all those types of things. But that is just how it goes, right? And I honestly really do think that this is a fantastic game, and I think people just sometimes take it a little bit too seriously. Have fun. Take it at your pace. That's all I gotta say. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something new today. I also love the live stream. I yapped all the time. If you enjoyed the video and want to learn something new about RuneScape or any type of gaming estimates I'm up to, be sure to come check out the live streams. Follow me on Twitch. Check me out on the live here on the channel as well. I also stream vertically if you're into that kind of thing and like watching on your phone. And then I'll catch you in the next one. If you're still hanging around, though, you can watch this video